The first episode of the Legacy of the First Blade adds 2 new legendary weapons and 1 new armor set, but are they any good? Let's take a look at the new items in this video. If you enjoyed that, then a like would be super appreciated, and let's go. Let's start with one of the new weapons that you get after completing all the sort of main story missions of this first episode, Hunted. Cool new daggers called Edge of Time with assassin damage, 15% adrenaline per hit, so nice of course, so you can keep doing your assassin abilities while sneaking through a camp or in combat. But looking at the legendary perk, we can see that it's mostly about the combat. It namely reduces all the cooldowns by 10% on a successful parry. And that is especially nice for the hero strike ability you want to be doing a lot as an assassin player after the enemies spotted you. That ability costs 1 segment, but you have to wait for it before you can do it again, so having that cooldown reduction is nice. It's also of course nice for the second wind ability, so you can heal yourself more often. I also found it pretty good in combination with the new Persian Elite armor set that you get for killing all the new targets in the Legacy of the First Blade. I will not show you the new cultist sort of menu for spoiler reasons, but there are 7 new targets in total, and some of them give you the new armor set. And the set bonus of this new legendary set increases your damage by 40% whenever the time is slowed down. So yes, that's why I said that you might want to engrave that perk from the new daggers on a warrior weapon, so you have the reduced cooldown for the slowdown time ability you want to be using a lot with this Persian Elite set. And that cooldown is pretty significant, so being able to reduce that by doing parries is of course nice, but you can also slow down the time with the Sixth Sense ability or on a successful dodge. So yes, you get the enhanced damage when the time is slowed down if you have the full set on, and we also got some nice perks on each different gear piece. We got extra fire damage on the head, adrenaline on hit on the bracers, the waist has a crit chance, crit damage on the chest, and all damage on the boots. And I'm not sure why the perk on this item is level 1 while the gear is level 45. I'm playing on a Ubisoft build here, that's why I also can play the DLC early. But yeah, you get the legendary armor set on your level like any other legendary armor set in the game. So yeah, it's a pretty cool set if you ask me. It has you play differently, like focus on slowing down the time. Do think though that there are better options for just simple damage outputs that do not rely on something you can only do with an ability or you trigger after reacting nicely to an enemy attack. But yeah, you can of course still rock the look if you don't like the stats. If you of course are a hunter or assassin player, then you can still look like this elite Persian. I in particular like the chest with the awesome pauldrons. Not a fan of the sort of crown like hat. Again, we already got some hats like that. It's now a band though, but it would have been cooler if it was just a mask or something else. But yeah, we'll totally be rocking the chest for sure. So again, after killing the targets in the DLC, you will get the set. And then you also unlock the engraving that gives you 10% extra damage when the time is slowed down. Because of course, recently with update 1.11, Ubisoft made it so that the set bonus is a way better value than the engraving you can put on any other gear. You can put this one from the Elite Persian set, by the way, on a waist. And you don't see that very often, so that is a nice addition for sure. Let's take a look at another legendary item that you can get, a legendary weapon, and this one you get like really early on in the DLC. It's called the Pride of the Lion. Yeah, remember that name is of course tied to that trophy. More on that a little later. It adds 1 more enemy to your rush assassination chain. So you can chain 4 times instead of the 3 times with the level 3 rush assassinate ability. So if you do that, you of course unlock the trophy we talked about again as well. It was a crazy theory that this might be the hidden blade, as I mentioned in a previous video, where we took a look at a hidden blade animation that was found in the game. You see it right here. Very, very strange indeed. Want to go a little more in depth on it maybe later, because a lot of you like reached out and shared your theories, so we'll totally touch on that in a second. Going back to this new weapon, it's a sword for the assassin player and also has the adrenaline per hit, just like we see on the daggers. So if you are an assassin player, then you will be happy with these 2 new additions for sure. There will be some moments where the game will ask you to be quiet to this mission without being seen. And there are also a lot of rush assassinate options for sure, but it will be hard to rock a full assassin build in this DLC because there will be a lot of like encounters where you will be immediately in combat, so you cannot use your assassin abilities apart from the hero strike, of course. There will be 2 new enemies and a pretty cool boss fight, but I will leave that of course for you to discover. The DLC is out on December 4th and available separately or of course part of the season pass. While I like the new perks for the new gear and weapons, you should not expect that much of a change in terms of gameplay compared to the main game. And it's all set in Macedonia, so that's also kind of a bummer, but we already talked about that in the previous videos. They did add some, I think, new things, but it still feels very familiar if you already discovered the area. I do like the amount of cutscenes though that told the story of Darius and of course the other things that are going on in the world. The DLC is relatively short, like I completed everything in a little less than 4 hours. And I think you can be done with just the main story if you want to focus on Darius' story in 2 hours. But there are a lot of cool cutscenes in that relatively short period of time. So that was pretty cool, because I kind of missed that in the main story of the game compared to, for example, Origins. So it's great to see them put more effort into that. But yeah, I'm curious to hear what you will think of the DLC as well. And what do you think of the new items that we will get? Let me know in the comments down below after you've played it, of course. I will just leave it here for now because, yeah, I don't want to spoil any more. But yeah, I will, of course, make way more Odyssey content around the DLC and the other things that are coming. Like, we still don't know what's coming in December, but we're already in December. So expect a blog post any moment now. I will keep you up to date, so totally subscribe if you haven't already for everything Odyssey. Like this video to support the channel. Check out the first sort of 15 minutes of the DLC if you want by clicking on the screen. And I will speak to you next time. Goodbye.